Hey guys, I'm outside. I haven't been outside in a while, or I have, but not for a video. So haven't started watching any new TV shows. I was actually going to talk about an anime I really like, but I've seen the first season like 3 times, and the second season like twice. And I'm on like watching it for a third, so I got my friends into it. So as much as I want to talk about it, I feel like I'm gonna like put in things I already know from like future episodes and future seasons and stuff. So what I decided to do instead, even though I've read the manga, is talk about an anime that's gonna be coming out around once a week or so, called Haikyuu. It's a sports anime, as it always is. That's just what I like watching. But so I'm going to be talking about that just because the anime might be different than the manga. It might not be, but it's new and I'm going to be watching it, and I've never seen the anime before, so I'm going to try and do these. It comes out every week on Sunday, so these might be a little later than me trying to get them out before Monday like I usually did. But that was just because Teen Wolf was on Monday. Well, now since these are coming out Sunday, I want to try and get these out before Friday of the week after that Sunday. So, yes, that's what I'm going to be doing. To talk about the premise, I guess, is you're mostly following first you start following a middle school student named Shoyu Hinata. I'm probably just gonna be calling Hinata. He's this really short kid. A lot of sports anime have to deal with short characters because usually in sports it's better to be taller because you have more arm muscles and upper body strength with a lot of sports that are required. Anyways, even if you didn't know that, I felt like mentioning it. But yeah, he's short, and the boys basketball, volleyball team. It's good for you to be tall because you know there's the net. Gotta go over the net. Anyways, in middle school there was not a boys volleyball team, and his last year, I think, were his first year when he joined the middle school or something like that. He finally was able to get into a tournament, and I think it was his last year of middle school. He was able to get into a tournament by getting 2 of his friends that were on other sports teams and some of the other new freshmen to help him just for that game. And so you needed at least a maximum of 5 people, or 6 people, which is what they had. And they ended up playing against one of like the top teams for their first match. So obviously they were going to lose, but underdog. And so you probably see the outcome. But anyways, so the team they were playing against, one of the players, that top team, ends up becoming important later. His name's I don't remember his first name, but his last name's Kageyama, and he's a really good settler. The only problem is that he expects the spikers, or the people that hit the ball, I don't know how many of you guys know terms in volleyball, but to match his speed, which it should be the other way around. But he doesn't learn that till later. But yeah, so he's important though, because he will show up later, which the first episode you don't really get that, but you can kind of see he's important because he's shown a lot. Anyway, so as much as Hinata tries, he doesn't do well, but he really ends up finding Kageyama, who people call King of the Court because of how good of a settler he is. And a settler, if you don't know what volleyball is the people that kind of set the ball, so they like pass it to the spiker so you can score a point, or they try and get it in the air or they set the ball. I don't know how else to describe it. Other than that, sorry, tree. And yeah, so I don't actually never play volleyball, so if my descriptions of the terms are really bad, I'm sorry. But yes. But yeah, so he ends up admiring Kageyama, and Kageyama kind of admires Hinata because he had practiced so hard and like trained himself, even though he didn't have an official team, that he can jump really high and he's really fast. By the way, quick side note, the reason why he wanted to join volleyball in the first place is because on the TV he saw at a high school this one player they called a little giant who was really small, like he was, that jumped really high and scored a lot of points, and was seen as kind of like, not a hero, but like an admired person. I don't know. But so he wanted to become like him, so that's why he formed his own team and wanted to learn his ability to jump really high and be fast, like the little giant was. And the high school that he went to is where Hinata is going to eventually go. And you see that at the end of the episode. But yeah, so most of the first episode is him playing against Kageyama's team and losing, even though he tries really hard. And then you see him at the end because he's crying because he's sad because he lost, which you know, more normal people would do. Other than that, I'm trying to think. But he ends up declaring to Kageyama that he's going to get better and beat him on the court and, you know, win, and, you know, he's declaring that they're rivals. And Kageyama's really funny. If they're gonna follow his character, he seems like a really serious and kind of mean character, especially since he's always got a scowl and angry eyebrows, but he's actually kind of hilarious. And Hinata's just one of those exuberant characters that like to do things, and as much as I don't want to, when I usually think of a really energetic character, I always compare them to Naruto. So kind of like that. He's also kind of idiotic and clumsy, so, but just to give you an idea of what his personality's like. And I guess you could think Kageyama like Sasuke, except he's not as broody as Sasuke, and he's not out for revenge. And he's not as emo. Anyways, yeah, so he declares them rivals, and it goes 3 years later as Hinata's practicing and going with school and having fun times with his two friends, even though his two friends, like I mentioned earlier, are teams. And then one of my friends really liked his friends and thought they were adorable. They don't show up, like, ever if they follow the manga. They don't show up at all, unless they do in, like, later chapters that haven't happened yet. But that was it. They're just there for that first episode, the first couple of chapters, and they're there for Hinata's character development, and that's it. But yeah, so they graduate and part ways, and then he's going to the school called Kurasuno, I think is what it was, but it's supposed to be for ravens, because that's their, like, bird, and there's a lot of ravens around. I don't know. Anyways, because that's where the little giant went, so that's where Hinata wants to go, and it's kind of nearby. Sorry about my angle when I talk, and I kind of look away. My hand moves. But yeah, so he ends up going there, and the first day you're supposed to join club activities. You're supposed to join a club in Japan when you join, like, middle school or high school. One of the requirements is to join a club. And if you don't join a club, then it's kind of seen as you're not so academic or athletic or whatever, or you're not really into school. There's a going home club, which you literally just go home. But you're usually supposed to join a club. It's seen as more proper. Anyway, so after his first day, I might have that wrong, and if I do, then it's just all anime. It seems more proper for you to join a club than not. I know a lot of people don't, though. Anyways, sorry, sidetracking. I just don't want to give wrong information, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. But he goes to the volleyball court. I think he's already handed in his form, but he goes to the court because he wants to go practice, and he's excited. And when Hinata gets there, the first thing he sees is Kageyama going to settle the ball, or set the ball and spike it himself over the net. Hinata just shouts out, what are you doing here? Because they're supposed to be rivals. And how can you be rivals when you're at the same school? They can't have a match against each other. And so anyways, when he yells at him, Kageyama misses the ball and it hits him in the head, and they kind of just stare at each other. And that's how the episode ends. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really excited about this. I'm sorry if you guys aren't that excited, but I'm pretty exuberant about it. I really like sports anime. Anyway, so the next episode's coming out this Sunday. And we're going to meet a whole bunch of new characters and the volleyball team, and learn a little bit more about Hinata and Kageyama's like rivalry, and they're going to develop a friendship. But right now they don't like each other at all. Anyways, comment below, like, dislike, I don't know. If you don't suggest anything else, I'm literally just going to keep talking about the sports anime until Teen Wolf probably comes back on. So, hope you enjoyed it regardless, and hope I can get you guys to watch it. I don't know if any of you guys actually like sports anime or anime in general. But if not, I would suggest, or if you do like anime, I would suggest watching it regardless. It's got cute animation and a good plot. And if you like sports, I would suggest watching it anyways, because it's not like Prince Tennis, which I also like, where it's like, you can't do that move, that's not possible. No, it's kind of realistic. So yeah, and if you've never seen an anime, I guess I can suggest it as the first one, but I probably wouldn't. Nah, I'd suggest it as the first one. Introduce you to anime and sports anime at the same time. Anyways, sorry, rambling. But anyways, hope you, sorry, I'm saying anyways a lot. And hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Bye lovelies, have a good week.